I just want to start this video by saying I love the Owl House and think it's horrible that Disney ended the show for whatever dumb reason, leaving more animators without jobs. That being said, when people say the Owl House got canceled, I think the show got really lucky. It wasn't a Netflix cancellation where after a bigger story was set up, we just never got a conclusion, like if they just cut it off after season 2. But we just got a much shorter third season. The writers got to prep for the ending as soon as the middle of season 2. In this video, my goal is to argue why having this shortened third season of the Owl House allowed for a better result, and make sure to stay until the end because I have an even hotter take then. Until then though, let's go. There's no denying that the second season of the Owl House is the best. It just is. If you go by the number of emotional moments, the direction, the character development, season 2 cannot be beat. But when we look back at the best episodes, the majority of them are going to be in the second half of that season. The ones that were changed to accommodate the shorter third season and to finish the story with as much as they can possibly do. The reason these episodes work so well, they feel so focused. There's a clear progression from one episode to the next. While in the first season, you can skip an episode or two without getting lost. Skipping just one episode of this part of the season, you will think you missed a whole season. There wasn't any time to just hang around and do nothing. That doesn't mean there's no room to breathe, but if they want a good finale, they needed to set the board, especially with character development, and time was very limited unless you skip arcs, and that makes the ending less satisfying, so they had to move fast. And this faster pacing carries over to season 3 as well. The episode most affected by the shorter season is probably thanks to them, which would have been the majority of season 3, I believe, condensed down into one episode, yet that's my favorite episode of the whole show. Thanks to them. Is focused, but more importantly to me, it maintains the stakes and the tension after King's Tide. Everyone's family is in mortal danger. While yes, the members of Amity's B-plot go off and do a fun adventure in this episode, Luz and Hunter make sure to constantly remind the audience that this isn't the moment to go off be celebrating. It's serious. And one of my biggest worries if we had gotten a full season 3 is we would lose those stakes. Amphibia, season 3A, is the part in the human realm that was awful to me. Just horrible. The characters had doomed their world, and Anne's friends were still trapped there, but every adventure was just a fun goof-off episode. We got tiny moments every once and again that were serious, like Anne writing the letters, but I couldn't believe that she would be okay with her friends running around in the world and her friends dressing up as actors or superheroes while she left her human friends behind, and one of them supposedly died. You don't do that. And I do not see a world where this wouldn't affect a full Owl House season 3. I love what they did with Depressed Luz, and thanks to them, but that was a special episode. It was 40 minutes, one and done, but I feel like we got just the right amount. I wouldn't want to watch, nor would Disney allow, I think, a full season with a show where a character is basically depressed, nor do I think it could work in just one episode. There's also the fact that we would need more of these adventures, which, if done poorly, could be another Amphibia, and the only benefit is just developing V more, which it's needed, but compared to the negatives, just making a longer thanks to them, it isn't great. Another big problem with having the full season is what we would get of the Boiling Isles. While For the Future is an episode which lacks the focus on King and the Collector, and I don't dislike that, if we got a full season, I assume every 3 or 4 episodes would be taking us to a place in the Isles, just so the voice actors still have a job and can still be considered main characters, but of course the story as well. But what would we really get out of those episodes? Our heroes can't really make too much progress in those episodes because they make almost no progress in For the Future. It would almost be filler, possibly just giving tiny bits of development. It would equate to Eda and Lilith evading the Collector. King goes on adventures with the Collector and tries to make him a better person, but he can't, or maybe small bits, but it's not enough. While we would definitely learn a lot of the history of the Isles as Lilith and Eda look for solutions to beat the Collector, it might contrast too much with the human realm side of the story. What I mean, if one of the episodes is about Amity learning about the human rain, like we see in the intro, either as the full episode or the A-plot, and then next, we flash to seeing Eda explore a barren wasteland of the Isles, it kind of takes the fun out of the Lumity stuff and gets depressing. Ideally, these episodes would be structured in a way where Season 3A is the Owl House, it's the Luz and Friends. Season 3B is all the Boiling Isle stuff, and with like one episode where Luz and her friends come home and get ready for the big finale. But I doubt they would format the show like that. It would probably add less variety when airing and make the show feel more serialized according to Disney. But it would keep one of my favorite aspects of the specials being the isolation aspect of the story. I loved that, and thanks to them, both us, the audience, and the characters have no clue what's happening to everyone in the Isles. It makes us share the worry that the characters have, and again, it keeps those stakes high. But if we constantly flash back and forth, even if we see if the peoples in the Isles, they're like slaves, they're in worse conditions than we could possibly imagine, we know that, okay, that's where they are. The fear of the unknown is so much scarier than even the worst possibility, and it's essential to keep stakes high. And before we keep going, I'd really ask you guys to subscribe. I normally don't ask, and you'll get my videos recommended either way if you like them. But it would help out the channel a lot, and thanks to anyone who does take the time to hit the button. Very much appreciated. Finally though, I think the unanswered questions are a good thing. I've made 2 videos dividing these things up, and just things that aren't explained in the show, but I think it's really good we have those. For one, it gives us fans the chance to speculate and make our own theories, but more importantly, it allows for future expansion. Sure, if we had gotten the full 3rd season of the show, we may have not have needed expansion, but I think a spin-off is worth the cancellation. If we could only have the full show or the spin-off, I would take the shortened show and spin-off. The Roundtable made an amazing video on what we could do in an Owl House sequel series. If you haven't seen the video, definitely check it out. But a future Owl House spin-off almost guarantees you're going to have an older demographic, which will mean you can tell it for older people, which provides for a lot of interesting stories. I would much rather learn about the Bat Queen's owner, or who the archivists really are, in a show which allows to slide a bit more into the darker and tone into that. And I don't even want TV-14, just a bit more tolerant to go into deeper and darker stories. I want to say it once more, it sucks the show was cancelled. To get a full 60 episodes of the Owl House, that would have been great. But I think the writers handled the show in a way which couldn't be beat if we got in a full season. Sure, there are flaws in Season 3, but in retrospect, it might have been the best thing for the show, both as an ending, but also looking towards the future. One more thing about the 3rd season, though. I've been mentioning thanks to them a lot of times in this video for the best aspects of Season 3. It's in that episode, and I think it's just an amazing episode. I recently made an analysis video thanks to them, breaking down why that episode works so well, so please make sure to check it out. It really underperformed. I'm really proud of it, and I think you'll love it because it's really good, so make sure to watch it. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I have been Fictional Fanatics. I'll see you in that thanks to them video. But until then, bye!